Hello, welcome to Excel 2016. In this series of lessons, we are going to look at intermediate levels of skills in Excel, starting with sorting. Before we do the sorting though, we are going to look at something very useful tool in Excel that a lot of people are not aware of. It is called Flash Fill. If you have an organization where all staff use the same email format, for example, let's say first name dot last name at google.com, for example, right? You can use the Flash Fill to fill out emails of staff if you have a long list to work with. Let me show you what I mean. In this example, we have for Treasure Notes Bookstore, we have first names and last names. Presumably, the email pattern is like this: Ivy dot last name, which is Mario, at tn for Treasure Notes dot ca, which is a Canadian domain. So if I just adjust this a little bit, remember how to do this, adjust the column. Let's see, there you go, that's better. Now I have this first name Ivy dot last name Mario at tn.ca. This is the format that is used in Treasure Notes Bookstore. So if I want to fill all these, usually I'll have to fill out the same thing. Now, if it's only for these 20 employees, that's not much of a problem. That can be done within minutes. However, let's say you have an organization that has hundreds or even thousands of employees. This becomes a big problem. It becomes a time consumption. So that's where Flash Fill becomes very important. So what is Flash Fill? Now I have created the first email. Excel knows the pattern. I need to create a second one for Excel to fully understand what I am doing here. So I'm going to go sam.tacho, which is the second name on the list, at tn.ca. Alright, so I'm going to enter and go to the third. As soon as I start typing Erin, you can see Excel recognizes the pattern and then Flash fills all the other names grayed out. All I have to do to activate this field is to click the enter button. There you go. How amazing is that? Like I said, for a 20 name list, this is not much of help, but if you are filling for 1,000 people in an organization, that becomes very difficult very quickly. There's another side to this. The other side to this is that if you have an email but you do not have first names and last name, and we recognize that this is the same pattern, first name and last name, and all you want to do is to sort of get only the names from this email, what you can do is do the reverse of what we did. Let's say you have the emails here. You go to the column next to the emails and type, for example, Ivy and last name Mario. Okay, enter, and the next name is Sam. As soon as I start typing that, it recognizes that I'm looking for the first name and last name, and it fills the whole screen for me. All I have to do is press the enter key to activate. So this is amazing. This is a serious time saver. Okay, so this is how Flash Fill works. Now we move on to the next lesson, which is sorting. Before I do that, I want to delete the first name and last name column because I just wanted to use it as an example. We have the first name and last name here, so I do not need to repeat this. So I'm going to right click, select and delete. So now we have this, and then Okay, for sorting, we normally what happens is that you need to select the column, the whole column that you want to sort. Let's say department list by alphabetical order. You want the first department with the first letter in the alphabeticals to appear first. You have to select everything and then go to sorting. However, with newer version of Excel, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is to click on that column and go to, there are two places, there are two ways you can do this. You can go to the Home tab and move on to the right hand side of it and find the sort tool here. You can click on the drop down and sort from A to Z or from Z to A. But we are not going to use that. We're going to use the Data tab where we have the sort and fill command group. So it's the same, it's essentially the same thing, but instead of clicking on the drop down menu as you did on the Home tab, you actually have the sort tool right here individually by themselves right on the command group tab. So now to sort the department column, all we have to do is to click on the commands that we desire here. Let's say the A to Z. Let's click on that. So as you can see here, this column has been sorted by alphabetical order. We have accounting, customer service, research, and training. It's important to note as we do this sorting that there becomes changes in the whole data table. If you look at the numbers, you see that the numbers have sort of flipped. Now they are not from 1 to 20 anymore because the changes in the department column also affect the changes in the numbers column. All right. However, this works very well if you have what is been known as a well-formed list. A well-formed list is a list that has data in close proximity without a column separating any part of it or a row separating any part of it. If I, for example, click here, create a new, maybe insert a new column here, for example, things will not work. If I try to make a change that affects all the data, that will not happen. It will only affect one of the data. Let me give you an example. What I just did here, for example, is to show you how to sort the department column. How about I try to sort something else? Let me sort the hours worked. Okay, from A to Z. All right, so I've done this, but what happens here is that none of these changes, nothing here changed because this empty column is a gulf between the two sets of data on the screen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to undo that sort, undo. Okay, so undo the sort and also undo the inserted column. So let's try to do this sorting again and you watch what happens to the other section here. So I'm going to click on this and then go to sort. As you can see, these changes as well. All right, now you have accounting, research. It's not alphabetical as it was before because the whole data set are now working together because this is a well-formed list that does not have any empty column or row separating the data. The next thing I want to show you is how to do custom sorting. Right now we have this data set and one of the interesting columns here is the day of column. Let me explain the data set a little bit. We have a Treasure Notes Bookstore as the name of the organization, and we have numbers itemizing each of the rows. We have employee numbers. We have first name, last name, the area of work, whether they work in the west, north, east, and so on, the location, the specific location of their work, the date that the employees were hired, and their day off every week. Some people are off on Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, and Wednesday, Thursday as well. They have their email here as well, and then we have their phone extension. So what we want to do here is to be able to know easily when employees are off. The way it is now, we have to sort of go through each of the names to find the date that the employees are not working or that they are off. As I've said before, with a 20 list, this might be easy to do relatively, but when you have a big data set where you have hundreds and thousands of data, then this becomes a bit of a challenge. So in any case, the easiest way to find out the group of people who are off on a specific date is to sort the day off column. So you know who's off on Mondays and who the set of people off on Mondays and the set of people off on Saturdays, and so on and so forth. The best way to find the group of employees that are off on a specific day is to find the day off of each of the employees, and you can do that by sorting the day off column here, so you know who's off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. All right, so let's do that. This is not difficult. This is a repetition of what we did before. So if I click on this column here and go to the data tab and find the sort button, so I want to sort from A to Z, lowest to highest, so I'm going to click on that, and here we have it. It has been sorted, but there is a big problem. The problem is that it is sorted alphabetically, but we all know that the days of the week is not alphabetically. The days of the week does not start by Friday. I mean, Friday does not come before Monday, for example. All right, and Monday, let's see here, Saturday does not come before Thursday or Tuesday. So this is wrong. This sorting is wrong. So what do? Then we call on the special sort button here, the one that has the Z to A and the A to Z sort here. This is the actual sort button. All right, so if I click on this, let's leave my click over there, and if I click on this sort button, I get this sort dialog box with these different column and associated values. Now what I'm looking for is that I'm trying to order the day off column, so I have to go to order. Here, the default is A to Z. So if I click on the drop down beside it, what is what I find? I find Z to A, but nothing here shows me how I'm going to order based on the day of the week, except by clicking on the custom list. Let's click on that and see what happens. By clicking on that, I have the custom list dialog box. Now there are different values here. There is the short form of day of the week, SUN, MON, that represents Sunday, Monday, and so on. And then you have the full day of the week spelled out, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. If you're looking for the months, which we are not, you can also see them here. All right, so in our case, we're looking for the day of the week. Mind you, do not click on the short form day of the week here. For example, this one, the reason is because it won't work, because in our column we actually have the full spelling of the day of the week. So you have to click on the full day of the week list entry. So now if I OK that, and now I have as order as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. If I OK this, it gets reflected on my data set. Now I know that 3 people are off. 3 people are off on Sunday, 3 are off on Monday, 2 are off on Tuesday, and so on and so forth. If I come to this data, I quickly just want to know who's not working on Saturday. I just have to go down here to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and see that Sam, Erin, Sophia, Peter, and Danny are not working on Saturday. So I can make my decision either as a manager or as a scheduler. That is how to custom sort your data. Before I go on to show you the next lesson, which is filter, let me do one more sorting. If we want to find out all the employees that work in the West End or in the South, we can also sort by area. So if I click on this area column, I can click on the sort button to sort based on alphabetical order. Now I know that this group of employees, Jenna, David, Ahmed, Erin, and Sophia, all works in the East, and these other sets work in the North, and so on. Alright, so sorting is a very powerful tool if you have a big data set. Now let's go to filtering, which is very, very interesting and useful, especially if you have a big data set. Let me do another example of sorting here. Let's say we have a department column here. I want to sort this in alphabetical order again, or maybe the other way around. Let's sort this in alphabetical order, but from highest to lowest. So we'll click on the down button, and now we have these sorting. Okay, to reverse that, we click on the next one. Alright, I think by now you're pretty much familiar with the sorting tool. What I want to show you is that sometimes sorting is not enough. You need to be able to filter to have certain data highlighted on the screen. So the filter button can be found in two places. We have the filter button on the home tab, as we had the sort button. If I click on the drop down here, I should be able to find the filter button here. But again, we're going to use the data tab and go to this big filter button here. If I click on that, notice how each of the column heading now has a drop down icon, for each of them. So now, what are these used for? Let's click on one of them. If, for example, I only want to see employees that are full-time on the screen. I only want employees that are full-time on the screen. So I'm looking for, let's press that a little bit. So I'm looking at the status, employee status column. So if I go to this drop-down menu here, you see that there are three selections here. One is the select all, which selects everything, which is what is by default happening right now. But if I only want full-time, I have to deselect the select all and select FT, which represents full-time. If I click OK, I will only have full-time displayed on the screen. I will only have employees with full-time status displayed on the screen. All right, maybe that's not enough. Maybe I also want among the full-time employees, I also want those who make $15 displayed. All right, so I'll go to the pay per hour column and select the drop down, and then deselect all again because that's the default, and then find $15 and click OK. So now what I have is only the full-time employees that make only $15. You see how this works? So this is how you can filter for certain categories of data or for certain type of data and hide the others that you don't need at the current moment. All right, the question now becomes, okay, all right, now we have done our filtering. It seems like we've lost a lot of data. Where did the rest go? Because if I look at the status bar here, I see that it says we have 8 out of 20 records found. What happened to the rest? There are two ways you can bring it back. You can reverse what you did before, for example, by clicking on that, clicking on the filter icon and then selecting everything, and then going next to click on the pay per hour icon and selecting everything. But the easiest way to do it is to go to the data tab, find the clear command here. What does it say? It says clear the filter and sort state for the current range of data. So it's going to clear the filter and the sort command that we previously gave. So let's do that. Click on this and then we have everything else back. All right, so now we have all our data back on screen, but we still have the filter drop down icon here. So in order to remove that, all we have to do is to click on the filter command here, which is still highlighted, and then every thing will be the way it was before. All right, I hope this was helpful. Take time to go over this again. Remember we did sorting by sorting the first sheet here as we please, by sorting the department. We also did a flash fill. The next we did a custom sorting with the day of the week, and then we went to the filtering sheet and decided to filter for full-time and then also filter for the hours of work. So play with this as you wish and then join us on the other side.